Hey, Blake Denman here from Rickety Root Inc. And today I'm going to talk about two things I'm really passionate about: The Office and link building for local search. Does link building actually work? Got some interesting things to share, so let's dive right in. A little bit about me. I'm going to keep it short. Been doing local SEO for more than 13 years. I founded Rickety Root in Root area of 2009. We're a 100% remote agency. We primarily work with SMBs. I don't like writing about myself. I have watched more than 3,700 hours of The Office. And if you ever go to my website, ricketyroot.com, towards the bottom, you'll see I actually have an hour counter of how many hours of The Office I have watched. And last but not least, I know more about The Office than you. Why is Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation in here? Well, I actually started a website called verygoodlocalseo.com where I'm sharing everything I know about local search. And so if you are interested in learning more about local search, feel free to head on over there. All the content is completely free. Okay, enough about me and stuff. Let's dive right in. So links still matter a lot. So these are the 2020 results of the local search ranking factor survey that Darren Shaw from WhiteSpark has taken over. And in local pack rankings, links are tied with on-page optimization as the number 3 top priority thing you should be focusing on. And local organic search links right below on-page number 2. So links still matter a lot. Okay, it's good to know. What else? Well, Bright Local put out a survey. This was last year, and 63% of the respondents said that link building is very effective to boost rankings, and that was actually an 8% increase compared to 2018, and 37% of respondents said it was fairly effective compared to 45 the year prior. So I think a lot of people are jumping ship and saying that link building to improve rankings on local search is getting more and more important. All right, so that's cool. What about, how can we test this? Well, we did do some testing earlier this year with a multiple location business, and we had one control group with 5 different locations. Now we had 5 different tests running simultaneously, and there were 4 different locations per test. So what were we testing? We essentially wanted to test what types of link building actually drove increases in rankings. And let's see what types of links we were actually going after. So we wanted to test generic guest posts. In these locations, Dallas, Fort Wayne, Aurora, Leawood, we want to see if the amount of generic guest posts that were getting published with optimized anchor text would have any impact on Google Maps local pack rankings or organic search. So that's test 1. Then we went after topically relevant authoritative links. So in these locations, so out of those 4 locations, one location got 1, 2, 3, and then the last location got 4 links. And you can see the anchor text that we were trying to optimize for. Next up is Yext PRP link building. PRP is page rank passing. So if you're utilizing Yext in the section where you can add coupons or, and you can dictate what that anchor text is, on these particular websites in Yext's network, those are page rank passing links. They are not no-followed. So we went ahead and actually want to see if we can utilize by zip codes, see if we can improve rankings in specific zip codes. So we were able to build 22 links per location with optimized anchor text. This has been debunked multiple times, but we want to test it ourselves. We want to see if linking inside of Yext directly to the Google My Business CID would actually have any type of impact in rankings on the map side or local organic. And last, but surely I think it's probably one of the least, along with GMB CID, is manual citation building. 4 locations, we built 10 citations per location, and all locations across the board for this multi-location business have had Moz Local for nearly 3 years. So before I kind of get into the results, some testing caveats. We're in the middle of a pandemic, have no control over new reviews, have no control over what any competitors are doing, nothing like that. If there's spam coming into the mix, there's so many ways you could poke massive holes in our testing, but it's still something I'd be happy to share. That being said, correlation does not equal causation. If we are able to infer some type of reaction or some some type of ranking increase from a particular type of strategy doesn't mean it was actually what caused that ranking increase. So just take everything with a grain of salt. Your results will be different if you find that in our testing that one particular type of link building was actually pretty beneficial for that given test group. Your results are going to be different, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later. All right, so let's go with the updated results. So all of these links were built super early this year, and I presented our preliminary findings at Local U in March. So first, our control group. Now, bear in mind, nothing has been done on any of these locations the entire year. Natural reviews, but even trying to get reviews during the pandemic is a little it's a little different than what's normal. All right, so across the board, Google Maps, overall visibility, and that's what we're going to primarily focus on, visibility scores. Overall, down 5% from February 4th of this year up until October 4th of this year. Now, Google Organic, visibility score went down by 3%. Makes sense. Nothing was really done. No links, no content. Nothing has been touched on any of these locations. Now, guest posts. We had on Google Maps, we had a 1% decrease, which is interesting. So not as big of a decrease compared to the control group. And then regular organic, we had a 2% decrease. So if we were able to continue with that type of strategy, maybe the results have been a little bit better instead of just doing one-offs, just to kind of see what types of results could actually happen if there was a continued effort to improve rankings instead of just the one-off. Topically relevant authoritative links. Now remember, 1, 2, 3, or 4. One location, Virginia Beach, we built 4 topically relevant authoritative links. So Google Maps, we had a 2% visibility increase. In regular organic, we just had a 1% decrease. Not too bad considering we only built these not too many links, and they were at the very beginning of the year. Next, page rank passing link building. Google Maps, we have a 2% visibility increase. But in Google Organic, we actually have a 10% decrease. So if you wanted to infer anything from that, you could say that Yext might have a slight impact on Google Maps rankings, especially if you're optimizing for certain types of queries. Yext GMB CID link building. In Google Maps, we had a 4% decrease. I'm going to jump back to Yext PRP, which we linked directly to the page instead of the Google My Business. So in Google Maps, GMB CID, we had a 4% decrease. But in the other test, we had a 2% increase, linking directly to the page with our optimized anchor text compared to the GMB CID, which had a 4% decrease. So furthermore, debunking building links to your Google My Business CID is not going to help you with rankings at all. Google Organic didn't help whatsoever. We actually had the biggest decrease out of any of the tests. So don't build links to your Google My Business CID. It's a waste of time, and it's not going to yield you any results. Manual citation building. The visibility score remained the same through the entire testing period. And Google Organic, we had a 6% decrease in visibility. Makes sense. Citation building, how much is it going to actually help you? Not very much, but it's interesting to see that on the map side, we were able to maintain visibility just by building 10 citations per location at the beginning of the year, compared to the control group, which we actually had some decreases in maps. But also right here, Google Organic, citation building had 0 impact. We had a decrease in visibility, slightly less than the control group, but it's not going to really help you. So if you were to base conclusions off of this, Yext seems to be helping a little bit with on the Google Maps side. Generic guest posts seem to help a little bit. Topically relevant authoritative links seem to have some really good impact. And citation building might help you maintain your Google Maps rankings if that's what you want to infer from those testing. But I want to talk a little bit differently about how we approach link building, which I want to talk about the concept of link benchmarking. We all understand that links are very important if you want to increase rankings on Google Maps and local organic search. But what types of links should you be building? Which this is where link benchmarking comes into play. Now, every industry, every location is going to have its own unique benchmark. Even if if you've niched down and let's say you only work in legal or you only work in home services, the results you're going to get for a client in Austin, Texas, based off of these types of links are going to be entirely different than that different law firm that's going to be in Akron, Ohio, or Albany, New York, or Nashua. Every industry, every location is going to have its own unique benchmark. That's what makes benchmarking so much fun, is you're able to see where you currently sit compared to your relative competition. So before we kind of walk you through how to perform a link benchmark, steal a copy of the sheet. It's a bit.ly link, bit.ly/link-benchmarking. That's going to get you the template that we built out. The second sheet of that of this template has a sample that some small HVAC company in Bend, Oregon, where I live, I just randomly chose them and did the link benchmark based off of them compared to the top 5 ranking competitors in that niche locally. So steal a copy of it. Now, before you just start trying to go to work on it, it's really important to identify your top ranking competitors. If you're an agency, you should be using GS Location Changer, or you can be using Bright Local's local results checker tool to see who's actually ranking. Your client, or you might know who's ranking very well, but until you kind of back it up by actually doing some searches and eliminate your confirmation bias, it's always good to validate. So we like looking at who are the top 5 ranking actual local businesses in organic and in Google Maps. On the Google Maps side, we're trying to eliminate any type of result that is spam, keyword stuffed that we know isn't legit. We're looking for legitimate businesses that are ranking prominently for our primary keywords. So once you've built that list, next we need to export some links. So you can use any third-party tool you would like. Ahrefs, SEMrush, Majestic, Moz, any link building tool, research tool that you're using. You need to start put in each competitor's domain and then export the referring domains into an Excel doc, download to your desktop. Do the same thing for your website through this third-party tool as well, through the third-party tool that you're using. And then once you've done all of that, you have to start putting in the referring domains into the right column for each, for your website or your client's website, and then each one of the competitors you want to analyze against. Once you've done all of that, then you start categorizing the links. There are different options. You have topical, local, there's citations, there's an other field, which would require some more research on your part, and then there's the next part, garbage. When you're going through and looking at the competitors and you see that they get a lot of links from random blogger subdomains, those are all garbage links. Like if you're looking at a referring domain and it doesn't pass the smell test, it looks spammy, just mark it as garbage. That's nothing you want to compare yourself against, but you need to do the same thing with your referring domains too. Once you've worked through each and every single one of them, you'll have something that looks like this, like this. So client domain totals in the example that I have on that sheet, they have 1 topical link, 1 local link. They have 10 citations, and then they have 1 other link. Now the benchmark compared to their top 5 competitors who are ranking prominently locally, they average 7.8 topical links, 9.6 local links, 23.2 citations, and then 1.6 other links. So if this was your client, based off of these findings, you can accurately see what types of links you should really start focusing on. Yeah, might need some citations, but really need to focus on building some local links and building some topical links. Okay, so once you've built this, what do? That's where we need to start prioritizing types of links. Now, there are easy links to get, there are medium, and then there are hard. So easy links to get, those are going to be your citations. I don't like saying that I don't believe building citations counts as building links. It's structured, it's super easy, mainly structured citations. Unstructured citations, entirely different story. But structured citations, I don't count them as building links, but if you want to qualify them, sure. Yeah, so those are easy links to get. Medium effort links to get, those are going to be sponsorships, whether they're local or they're topically relevant. Local memberships or topical memberships, guest posts, local review / case studies, which I'll talk to you about a little bit. Now, hard effort links to get, those are going to be editorial, resource link building, broken link building, anything that's going to require a lot of strategy, outreach, and asset building. There's going to be way more effort needed in order to actually build that. So, which leads me into my next point, like, okay, what are my favorite types of link building to do for most local businesses? Well, if we really want to get into it, first we have to understand Google's intent with local. For me personally, I firmly believe that Google's purpose with local search is the more popular and the more well-known, the more local brand visibility you have at the local level, right? So the more popular you are in the offline world, then you will accurately be reflected that with your organic rankings. I can't tell you how many times I've come across really small websites with poor link profiles and nothing, but they rank super well. But you know what they've been doing for the last 20 years? They've been heavily involved in their local community, and Google rewards them with really good rankings. Now, the machine knows you can actually download your Google data from any Gmail account that you have. So I ran this August of last year on just one of my Gmail accounts. And I have the 53 products. The file on me alone was 7.68 gigabytes. Google has access to a ton of information, and we know that, right? So that's why I really want to focus on, okay, my favorite types of link building have to do with actually building more local brand visibility. So how do we do that? Well, I'm a big fan of affinity categories inside of Google Analytics. So you go to analytics.google.com, do a 6 to 12 month date range, then you go to audience, interests, affinity categories. Then you're going to get something like this, and you're going to see, okay, the number one affinity for this particular website was value shoppers. Now, if it was local ecom, okay, local coupons might be a really good idea. Number two, movie lovers. All right, is there a local theater in town that's been, like in Bend, Oregon, we have the Tower Theater. It's been mainstay, it's historic. Okay, there might be an opportunity there. Then you've got music lovers, family focused. Like these are going to help you identify, like, okay, how can we get involved in our local community, but also get in front of our potential customers? Instead of just sponsoring a little league team, you don't, unless your demographics actually fit, like, okay, yes, all of our clients are families. I mean, that really applies to like daycares. You're going to get better benefits out of getting involved in the local community if you've looked at your affinities and you understand who your ideal customers are and what they actually care about. So then you need to get in front of your target audience. So that number two category on this slide, movie lovers. In Bend, Oregon, we have the Tower Theater. Okay, is there any type of opportunity? Maybe we could sponsor an event there where we're going to show the movie Threat Level Midnight to get our target audience in front of, if we also find that they love The Office. You have to be a little bit creative. Instead, yeah, you can use search operators to find sponsorship opportunities, but if you can actually find a local historic type of opportunity, even if they don't have any links or sponsors on their website, ask. Simple outreach. You never know what's going to yield. It never hurts to just ask. Like I could email Tower Theater if that was my affinity category and say, hey, would love to get involved with you guys and come up with some type of opportunity where, you know, it would help raise awareness for them and we would get a nice link out of it. Not only that, like if you are able to work with a local opportunity like this, you're going to be the only external link in your business category that they're linking to, which is going to be awesome compared to a generic sponsors page that's going to have 10 to 50 different vendors on there. So if there are any links, just ask. It doesn't have to be that hard. My next one, and this one's a lot of fun, long form testimonials. You can call them case studies, guest posts, whatever you want to call it. If you're working with a local business or you are a local business, make a list or have your client make a list of all the local vendors that they use to operate their business. Bookkeeper, CPA, lawyer, a commercial cleaning service, a property manager even. I don't know about that, but you get the idea. You can also look at who do you refer clients to, who refers you to clients. Same could apply here. Instead of offering them a generic testimonial that they'll publish it somewhere on their website and then they'll link to you, why not offer them a long form testimonial where in the first paragraph of this long form testimonial, you introduce who you are, what you do and with a link back to your website. And then you move into how that actual local vendor has really helped your business. Now, if you actually do all the footwork and you do this, they're going to publish it. They might even link to it they're going to share it on social media. They might even link to it in their email signature, which is going to get you in front of more local people. That's the deal, right? All right, so let's wrap it up. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Don't pigeonhole your efforts into a single type of link building. Don't just do generic guest posts. Don't just do topical link building. Like, you really need to diversify the types of links you're building, especially if you're doing link building and you want to have the most natural link building profile. Don't pigeonhole yourself with one tactic or strategy. Identify your own benchmark, right? See where you might be lacking. If you are really lacking with local links, but you're really good with topical, then your efforts should be focused on building more local links. It's pretty simple. Like, identify your benchmark and figure out where you have weak areas, and then start building links. Focus on building a better local brand. Okay. The more local popularity you have in the offline world, it's going to help build your local presence with rankings and new business. And that's why we're doing all this, right? Is to get new business for our clients, right? That being said, identify your benchmark, go build some links. That being said, thank you very much.